some sense, the concept of new media, right? New media has been around for 25, 30 years. Originally it was PCs, CD-ROMs, the web, but now it's smartphones and apps and blockchains and all these things. And what I think is interesting is we still use this term new media. We still use this term new media. I don't know if it's the same in Spanish, but at least in English, we still use this term new media. And my argument is essentially that when we say new media, it's not simply about media with a short history, new technologies that just came out, but we call it new media because these media are in some sense tied to a belief, tied to an idea that the sort of media landscape is kind of undergoing this radical change, right? And so I'm interested in this belief, and this idea that we attach to our laptops and our smartphones and our Twitters and Facebooks, this idea that we attach to these media that they, in some sense, are bringing about a kind of totally new media landscape. I'm interested in how this belief gets produced. I'm introduced in how this idea of the new becomes defined. Now, why is this important to you as journalism students? What I think, what you'll hear about a lot today in the first talk and also in Scott's talk in a moment, is what we're often faced with these days is a collision of what I'll talk about as two fields. And on the one hand, the one we know and love, journalism, and the one we, as people or as journalists who studies has existed for a long time, we know a good bit about. And on the other hand, in the sort of Facebook health style, the new media. Right? So we hear, all about this collision all the time, often around controversies. So, the controversy about whether Facebook should have human editors. And it's a classic example of a sort of collision, I think, between two fields. And the key thing to realize about this collision, that's not, you can use your phones. The key thing is to realize about the collision is that it's not just about technology, right? It's not just about business models, but it's also about values, it's about beliefs and practices. So that's what I mean by fields. So, is that? So, in this kind of middle space between new media and journalism, what we see are a number of things. We see things like journalism startups. They have one foot in one field, in the new media field, and they have one foot in the sort of old world of journalism. You see this in things like the Facebook editor controversy. You see this with things like WikiLeaks. And what my argument today is in essence that this collision needs to be understood not just as a sort of technological change, but as this kind of this evolving relationship between these two fields. Okay, so but it's about what Google says about its own company, and things like this. And so my aim today is to get a better sense of these values that these companies talk about. And it's not just values that Facebook talks about, it's also sort of the values that hackers uphold, digital rights activists and so on. But I want to talk about it in connection with a TV show. Who's seen the TV show Silicon Valley? Yeah, over hand. And I want to talk about this show because for me, Silicon Valley as a TV show is actually one of the best sources of new media criticism today. And I want to start with a trailer, just for us to get a sense of what the TV show is about, what it's like. It's a comedy show, it's a parody show, and we'll just watch a quick clip.